Alright, hey guys, what's going on, and welcome to my current PS1 collection update video. Ryder has already recorded his. It may be up by the time this one gets recorded, so if it is, you can check that one out, and if it isn't, just hold tight, because it is going to be coming eventually. I've got a pretty weird setup right now. This webcam sucks, but it's what I got. I got my mic over here. I'm not really sure how this is going to sound. My air conditioner's on too, so, you know, it might be an absolute disaster, but whatever. We're gonna figure it out because I've tried to record this video on my phone twice now, and it's just not letting me upload it. Third time's a charm, I guess, and this is just a setup we're gonna use. But, so basically I'm just gonna go through every single PS1 game that I have currently. Probably not really gonna talk about them too much. Try and keep the video a little shorter, but, really no particular order. Although, the good stuff kinda ended at the bottom, and the bad stuff kinda ended at the top. But, I'm gonna start off, hopefully, that you know, I'm holding things in the right spot. But, Beyblade Ps1. It says it's the PAL version because it's a printed manual. It's not even a legit. It's just a piece of paper. I didn't do it. The place I got it from did it, but I didn't really care because I had this game as a kid. I still have the original disc that I had as a kid, but the disc no longer works. I'm gonna have to put stuff on the floor. Next I got Gex. Honestly, Gex is one of the first PS1 games that I bought. That ended up reviving my desire to start collecting again. So, I guess I kinda owe it to Gex in a weird way. Not really, I guess. But it was still, from what I remember, one of the starts of my collecting. But right here I got two different Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. Because one of them has the correct disc in it. The other one has Tomb Raider 1 in it, because there was a mess up at a local game store. So these are actually Ryder's. I just swapped it out for him recently. That's why I'm holding on to both of them. Okay. Another game I had as a kid that absolutely sucks. I loved it as a kid. Razor Racing. I mean, it doesn't take much to realize that this game was not very good. But I loved it as a kid. So sometimes you just buy things based off of nostalgia. I did put it in recently to try it out. And yeah, it's exactly as I remember it, just a lot worse, because I'm not a kid anymore. Then I got two wrestling games. I'm still a huge fan, well, huge fan of pro wrestling, maybe not a huge fan. Me and Ryder do watch AEW weekly, because it's not as long, and it can be entertaining. But I definitely was a lot bigger of a wrestling fan as a kid, but I'll always have love for the video games, so got WWF Warzone and SmackDown on the PS1. They're not great, but there's really not a whole lot of bad wrestling games. Maybe I just haven't played enough of them, but I seem to find enjoyment in them some way. There's another package deal here. Got Siphon Filter and Siphon Filter 2. I haven't played these. I don't really know if I will. It's kind of, sadly, they're just cheap, so they're kind of filler. In my collection, which is kind of weird. Maybe I'll try them out. I did try them, and it felt like the controls were so delayed, and it just didn't really feel good to play. That was the first game, though. Haven't tried the second one, but if I can't get through the first one, then probably won't play the second one. Another game I had as a kid that I recently picked up is Spongebob Squarepants Super Sponge. I really don't remember much about this game, other than just owning it. I did have the Rocket Power game that's on the back, but I don't have it now. Yeah, I just don't remember much from this game. I know it's a 2D game. I guess it's a 2D platformer. But it was really cheap, and again, it was a game I had as a kid. Next up is another game I had as a kid. The only Spyro game I ever had as a kid, actually, is Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. I can't really say that I'm a big fan of the Spyro games, because I didn't play this one a whole lot as a kid. And I never had a desire to play it again, or any of them. Even the new Reignited trilogy came out, so I just kind of bought it based off because it's what I had as a kid. But I don't know, I'm not really into Spyro. Another game I had as a kid, and I bought it solely because he had my name, and it was also a nickname of mine growing up, is Rayman. I bought Rayman recently also. A really hard game to find for some reason for me, because I do all of my collecting, I like to find them in person. I don't really like to order games, so pretty much 99% of these games you're going to see are I found at local game stores. So when I say it's hard to find, I know I can go on eBay and there's a million listings, but hard to find in the wild because I guess it's a good, cheap game and normally people buy those. Here's a recommendation game from Ryder, and that is Pac-Man World. Ryder loved this game, so he recommended it to me. So I picked it up. Got the black label, so it's got a pretty cool disc. We were talking about that the other day. We didn't know that it had a different disc. But so Pac-Man World, then the remake just came out, but I still much prefer the PS1 aesthetic and graphics, so I would still prefer to play it this way. Okay, let's do... I'm gonna show this as a funny story. And no hard feelings towards Tucker, but our friend Tucker, I believe his YouTube channel is Tuckalicious. I can't remember. Sorry, Tucker. I'll put it in the description. I think it's Tuckalicious though. He changes it sometimes. We did a trade deal and he gave me this Twisted Metal 2, but the disc is actually broken. Kind of unfortunate. It's got a crack in it. You're not gonna see it from here, but it does have a crack in it. So I gotta try and get a replacement disc. He did feel bad, and he tried to, you know, take it back and give me my money back. But I was like, man, it's fine, you know. I kind of was doing it for a favor of him, in a way, because he did find a Spyro game he wanted, and when I was with him, and I was gonna buy it for him anyway, because he just was, you know, he didn't have, it wasn't really in his budget to spend any money, because, you know, he's more of a responsible adult than I am. So I was gonna get it for him anyway, so it's no big deal. Another game I picked up recently is Mega Man X4. I was going to buy this game a few weeks ago at another store, and when I opened it up, it had the wrong disc in it. It had Mega Man 8 in there. So I was like, well, I'm not buying that. So, you know. Another thing that I do want to mention quick is I'm relatively new to collecting. A lot of people that have YouTube channels have been collecting all their lives, you know, 30, 20 years. I'm relatively new to it, so... There's a lot of games that I didn't have that people have had in their collections for years, and sadly, I do have to pay kind of premium prices for these games, but I do try and get them for good deals, and if I think that it's overpriced, then I don't buy it. Things like that, so that's kind of why, you know, I'm playing catch-up. Everyone else is miles ahead, and me and Ryder are playing catch-up. Especially PS1. I had, like, no PS1 games anymore, because I got rid of them. Can't have PS1 without Crash Bandicoot and Crash Bandicoot 2. I don't have the third one, but I'll get it. But I don't know if you notice if there's a reflection, I can't tell, but I do put the games that I care about, that I care more about, in protectors, in these plastic protectors, so you might see those, but yeah, Crash 1 and 2, great games. Not really much to say, everyone knows Crash. Two great games, well, I can only speak on one, but if you've ever heard of or played Tenshu, Stealth Assassins, game that I love, and I did pick up Tenshu 2. Have not played it yet, so can't really speak on it, but I did love the first one, so hopefully the second one's as good or close. I don't need it to be better, I don't need it to be as good, I just need it to be fun, you know, it's its own game, and I understand that. Here's a complete blind buy that I've barely played this. I got it recently. A lot of these, or I don't want to say a lot of these, but pretty much the stack I just showed you were games I got recently because they were, you know, on top of the pile. This is Wild 9. I bought this because it's from the makers of Earthworm Jim, and I love Earthworm Jim. And this game looked wacky, and that's, you know, that's the style of Earthworm Jim, is wacky. So, it says pick up girls, torture your enemies, exterminate evil, and lock the door to your room. So, oh, really weird. But I like weird. I like Earthworm Jim, so we'll see how this one goes. Whatever. Okay, we're gonna do... All these are gonna go together, and you're gonna notice a theme real quick. Final Fantasy Origins. Comes with Final Fantasy 1 and 2. You're gonna be able to tell where this is going real quick. Final Fantasy Chronicles. It's got Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger. Obviously Final Fantasy 3 is not on PS1. You'd have to get it on DS or Super Nintendo, I guess, right? Or is that NES? I always get it mixed up because I know Hour 6 is Japan's 3 or something like that, but so that Also got Final Fantasy Anthology, which has 5 and 6. So, I haven't played any of these, by the way, other than Final Fantasy 1. So, I'm just recently getting into JRPGs, so don't get your pitchforks out and stuff. I'm gonna play them. I'm just getting into them. Okay, I didn't like them until recently, and I definitely love them now. So, you know. But Final Fantasy VII, of course. Gotta eventually play this because, well, I gotta play all the Final Fantasies, but this one, of course, the way it gets praised is unbelievable. Then that, if you couldn't guess, leads into Final Fantasy VIII. Now, I'll tell you, the good thing about Final Fantasy games, and keep in mind, all the games... Okay, well, there went the mini walkthrough. Let me pick that up. It's okay. It's fine. It doesn't look like it fell out. Okay. I forgot it was back there. I'll be completely honest. I forgot the mini walkthrough was back there, and the back opened. But all these games are complete, aside from Beyblade. That was the one that wasn't. Which, you know, if any of them are gonna be incomplete, I'll take it being Beyblade. But Final Fantasy VIII. The good thing about Final Fantasy games is all the PS1 games are relatively cheap, under $40. So at least, you know, I don't know, maybe not cheap, but they're not crazy. They're reasonable, I would say. And then we got Final Fantasy IX. This is the Final Fantasy that I'm looking forward to the most of playing. I don't really know why. Maybe it's the medieval setting. I don't really know, and maybe it's the pre-rendered backgrounds. I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to Final Fantasy IX, and it's got high praise from all my friends and whatnot, the internet. So that's always nice. And the last Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy Tactics. I got this for free from a friend of mine, Austin. I appreciate you for giving it to me for free. I say free, but he gave it to me because I replaced some batteries in his GBA games, or GB games. Plus, he was going to buy the black label of this, so he was like, you know what, you take the greatest hits, I'll buy the black label, you fix the Game Boy games, and we call it even. So, you know, appreciate it nonetheless. Because I was going to do it for free. Let me get this out of the way. This is my only import PS1 game. I bought this because, one, I saw it in a local shop, and I thought, well, that's cool. I don't know when I'll see that again. It was cheap enough for me, and it's way cheaper than the North American release of the game, because the North American copy is about $500. I got this for $40. That is Klonoa Door to Phantom Isle. Of course, it looks different because, well, Japanese copy, but I don't have a means of playing this, but I didn't care. I already beat the game anyway, but just awesome to have. And when I get a Japanese PlayStation 1 or 2, this will be the first one I put in, and well, probably it's the only one I have. We'll go. Maybe it's kind of getting close to Halloween. I say that it's September. This game might be kind of a Halloween game. I know the one after definitely is. But I picked up Dino Crisis because, well, I'm a big fan of Resident Evil. Big fan of PS1 Capcom era. So why not get Dino Crisis? I'm not really a fan of dinosaurs, but, you know, it's not that I don't like them or hate them. So, no, I mean, sorry. It's worth a try. And if I don't like it, well, then I'll get rid of it. I don't hold too much attachment to games. I don't buy games just to have them in the collection that, you know, just to make it look like a big expensive collection. I buy games I'm genuinely interested in or that I like. And if I've never played them and I play them and I don't like them, I just get rid of them. It's fine with me, you know. I don't mind. I don't want to keep a game that I don't like. Now, if the game's really cheap, like $5, and I expected it to be bad, well, it's just going to stay in the collection because I expected it. But a game like this, if I don't like it, I wouldn't mind getting rid of it, but I think I'll like it. Let me see. I think Ryder actually messaged me here. Never mind. He did not. Not him. Anyway, this game is much more on brand for being close to Halloween, and that is Medieval. This game, funny story. It's not even funny. I don't know why I said that. You're not gonna laugh. Me and Ryder found a YouTube channel called Kawaii Games, and this channel, he or she runs a channel, and it's 24/7 live streams of PlayStation 1 games. And we both clicked it, we were talking, and I was like, oh hey, what is this game? And he's like, I think it's Medieval. I was like, oh, I've heard of this game. I was like, man, you know, this does look kind of fun. And it's kind of getting close to Halloween. Walked into a retro game store, there it sat in great condition for below asking price of eBay and stuff. So I ended up with it, so I'm gonna play it and hopefully like it. Alright. Here's a game that I bought because I have every other game in the collection, or in the series. Well, I guess I don't have the GBA game and whatnot, but I have enough of them that I wanted to get this. That is Legend of Mana, or Mana, however you want to say it. Just a beautiful game. All the Mana games just look great. Squaresoft PS1 era, I mean, come on. Their sprite work was unbelievable. This is an ARPG. So that's cool, because you always gotta have your ARPGs and turn-based RPGs, you know, keep it nice and balanced. Here's one of my favorite PS1 games that I can't recommend enough. If you've never played it, go play it, check it out. That is Ape Escape. What a fun little game. Oh yeah, if you're unfamiliar with Ape Escape, do yourself a favor, look it up, play it any way you have to. It's a lot of fun. Okay, now we're gonna get into a bit more of the big, like, JRPG games. Most of them are JRPGs, some ARPGs, but these get to be the bit more high dollar ones. We're gonna start with this one. This is a big one. Brave Fencer Musashi. This game, I've been after this game for a long time. Finally found it. Was like, that's an expensive game, but I wanted it. So, you know, all I can hope for is that I really end up enjoying it, because that's the point. Buy games you want to play and hope you enjoy them. So this one I'm really happy about. Here's a game that was my favorite JRPG I ever played. Now, when I say that, keep in mind, I'm just getting into them, so I've only beaten a handful, 5 or 6. I'm just scratching the surface, but I'm excited to jump in and see a bunch, so definitely drop recommendations if you're seeing this. But this was my favorite JRPG that I'd played up until I'd played another one that I'll show later, because it happens to be on the PS1. But this once was my favorite JRPG, and that is Grandia. The characters, the world, the battle system, the combat system was like I've never seen, and oh man, I tell you, Grandia is quite a game, and I really highly recommend it. If you haven't heard of it or played it and you love JRPGs, it's a very traditional JRPG, but it still has enough. Well, maybe it's not traditional, you know. The combat's a bit different, but it's still pure turn-based. Just there's kind of like an ATB system, if you want to call it that. Maybe I'm bad at explaining things, but just check out Grandia. I'm telling you, it's well worth it. You can get it on Switch as well. You can get the first and second one on Switch as a combo pack. So I recommend that. Here's a game. I said these are JRPGs, but they're not all, so ignore me on that. One of my favorite games, Resident Evil 2. I still need to do some of the other campaigns. I played the remake first, believe it or not, because I just couldn't get my hands on this game. I didn't want to emulate it, so I actually played the remake first. But I did do Leon's campaign, and I loved it, so I'm excited to dive into the rest. Halloween's coming up as well, but I tell you, just from Leon A, amazing game. The remake was amazing, so I can't imagine I'm gonna hate playing the others, the other scenarios, but love Resident Evil 2. Here's a game that my girlfriend purchased because she's on a mission to get all of the games in this franchise, in this series. You gotta start with the original, the one that started it all, Silent Hill. This game is kind of crazy to see Black Label. It's not a cheap game, but, you know, she wanted it, so she bought it. And, you know, I'm definitely not mad at it because It looks really nice in the collection, and it's a piece of history. And one day, I will finish this game because I played through at least half of it one time on emulation, because I was like, well, I'm never going to buy this game, it's too expensive. Now that I have it, maybe I'll finally power through it. I say power through it. It's not like I didn't enjoy it, but I do like Resident Evil better. Okay, back to JRPGs. We've got a game that is considered the best in the series of these games, and that is Star Ocean, the second story, the second story, right? Yeah. I bought this one recently. This game has over 80 endings, or 80 something endings. Maybe it's just 80, I don't know, but just absurd. But this is a beautiful game. Looks amazing. Man, the battle system's a bit weird. It's a bit more, it's not pure turn-based in a way. You still have control of your character and whatnot, so definitely check it out if you haven't heard of it though, because this one gets very high praise. Oh, I'm like running out of floor room to put stuff. We'll go back to another JRPG quick. A game that I actually sold and picked up recently because the remakes got announced. 1 and 2 remaster got announced. Remake. That is Suikoden, or Suikoden. Everyone says it different. Sadly, I really don't like the cover art of the game, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it looks great when you're playing it. Sprite works amazing. But a friend of mine that gave me the Final Fantasy Tactics, Suikoden's his favorite series, I believe. I don't think that he likes any games. Maybe Zelda, but he loves all the Suikoden games. Every time I'm like, hey man, what game should I play next? He tells me to play Suikoden, so when I finally play through it and beat it, I'm sure he'll be really happy. But I had to pick this one up because once the remakes got announced, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll pick it up again, because I didn't even finish it, or I finished it. I didn't even play it. I got rid of it because I ended up needing some money, and I was like, yeah, well, I haven't played this one, and it's gonna be the first to go. So glad to have it back though. And that is my original copy that I sold. It stayed at the store and never got sold, so I got it back. All right, let's go. Let's go with this right here, Mega Man Legends. A game that people love. They love the first and second one. Never got a third one, and people are not happy about it, but it is what it is. What can you do? You can just enjoy the ones that you do have. Mega Man Legends is definitely unique, being a 3D Mega Man. Alright, back to JRPG. We got The Legend of Dragoon. A game that I'm so excited to play. I really am. The thing with JRPGs, they're a commitment, right? They take long and whatnot, so they're a commitment, but you also want to be in a good spot in your life where you feel like you have the time to play it. I'm not saying I'm the world's busiest man with no free time, but sometimes just being busy at work can make me not want to dive into something too crazy. I don't know why. I'm kind of weird, because I come home, I got plenty of time to play it, but I guess from amongst all the other hobbies and me just watching YouTube mindlessly, I feel like I don't have time, but definitely looking forward to playing Legend of Dragoon, and I also have the strategy guide. Super hyped on that. I have some strategy guides for a couple games that I'll mention, but Dragoon is one of them. Alright, let's go right here. This was the first big purchase PS1 game I made. It's back in one of our earliest pickups videos, and I was like, you know, I like shocked Ryder with it. Like, oh my god, he spent this much on a game, which, yeah, it's crazy because, you know, again, I was just starting collecting. That is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But I tell you, it's already gone up. Oh, man, it's gone up well over $50 from what I paid, so it was a lot at the time, but you look back and you're glad you only paid that. So that's one thing about collecting is you might be thinking, man, you all have all these games and said you haven't played them yet. Yeah, you're right, I haven't played them. I buy them because I know that I'm interested in them and I want to play them eventually, and I don't emulate, so I buy them while I can, because you buy this and then, you know, say 3 years down the line is like when you're like, okay, I'm ready to play it, and it's double the price. So that's really what it is. I don't care about value, but I can't ignore the value of games. So and it's constantly climbing. It's always rising, so sometimes it's just, now it's the cheapest you can get it, believe it or not. I mean, look at Earthbound. When that hit $1,000, people were like, okay, that's absurd, and now it's like $3,000. It's a weird thing. You can never predict it, though, so do not collect trying to make money. Do not use it as some weird investment. Buy games you're interested in and want to play. That's all you should do. Speaking of being interested in wanting to play, this is one of the best PS1 games I've ever played. One of the best games I've ever played in general, and if you haven't played it, you gotta play it, but you probably have. Metal Gear Solid. Amazing, way ahead of its time. I don't know why I'm not opening all of them and I'm just opening some. I don't know why I'm even opening it at all, but amazing, amazing game. Cannot speak highly enough about it. I know there's a Twin Snakes remaster on GameCube, but I've heard, nah, not really good things about it, and again, I prefer PS1 art style, and this one is perfectly fine. And it's regarded as the better version anyway. Moving some games out of the way quick. Here's a game we'll go with. I said they're all complete. This one's not, actually. Parasite Eve. I got it at a yard sale for way cheaper than it normally goes for. But sadly, it is missing the manual, and it is in some weird replacement case, which is no big deal. As long as it's original art and stuff, you know, you can put it whatever, but gotta clip it back in. These replacement cases can be rough. But yeah, Parasite Eve, it's got, you know, it's playable, it's got both discs, it's just no manual. But when you get it for a good deal, sometimes it's just worth it. So that's the only other. That one and, what, Beyblade was the only incomplete games. Oh, okay, here's another game that I have strategy guide for, that I'm excited to play. That is Wild Arms. Very, very interesting game. 2D sprites in the overworld. 3D polygonal characters in while you battle. Very unique. It's also, from what I've played of it, it's kind of got a bit of like Zelda vibes when it comes to dungeons and stuff, because you get different items, bombs, and things like that to clear paths. So there's almost a bit of puzzle aspects inside of the dungeon, as well as the pure turn-based combat. So this one's definitely worth checking out if you don't know much about it or haven't heard of it, or thinking about giving it a try. And I also picked up Wild Arms 2. Appreciate my girlfriend for basically buying this for me, which is, you know, you'd never argue that, right? You always take a free game when you can, especially when it's as good of a game. Well, I guess I haven't played Wild Arms, but Wild Arms 2, but as cool of a game. It's definitely one that I would not mind getting for free, you know. All right, we're down to 5. We're gonna go with a game that is like a big bucket list game for me, but it's just such a big game, and you got to put so much time in it, which is not a bad thing. It's just, you know, it's a overwhelming game for me to jump into. That is Xenogears. I mean, I'm really, trust me, I'm looking forward to playing it. I've played like 2 hours of it. It's just such a big game in scope, and this game's very interesting because people say like, oh, the second disc is incomplete, so that's kind of lame, and they have like complaints about the game, but they give it 10s out of 10s, you know? People are like, it's a perfect game. It seems flawed in so many ways, but people still give it perfect score, so very interested to check that out, because I've never really heard a game get so much criticism and still be a perfect game. Okay. Now we're getting into a game that, oh man, this game is just awesome. I haven't finished it, but I've played a good bit of it so far. That is Alundra. Hopefully it's picking up, because I can't see what, you know, I can't tell what is picking up or not, but Alundra, man, working designs. I'll tell you one thing. I'll open this up actually while I'm talking. They do some great box art and disc art like you've never seen before. They really put a lot of care, time, and effort into games like this. This is a dual DIN 1-disc game. I do want to show the manual as well. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a bit, is the word embossed? It's kind of sticking up. I don't really know the word, but so the disc's actually in the back. Hopefully the camera picks this up and does it justice. but it is just an awesome disc. They do just such a good job on their artwork, on the disc and on the box art and stuff. So big shout out to Working Designs for caring. And speaking of Working Designs, thank you to Working Designs for also doing these awesome big boxes. Big box for Ark the Lad. Hope you can see, but I'm not going to open up what's inside, but I will show you this. If you're curious what's inside, go ahead and do a quick search. There's some cool stuff in here, but my stuff is, the Omaki box stuff is sealed, so I can't show you the standees and whatnot, but Ark the Lad, you get 5 games in here. I think it's 4, but 5 discs, yeah, 4 amazing RPGs, says right there, hello. These are tactics games, and then the arena games in there, but Ark the Lad collection's awesome to have, super happy to have it, and I just love the big box PS1 collector's edition style games. Now, these next games go hand in hand. And this game is my current favorite JRPG that I've ever played. I can't speak highly enough about it. It looks amazing. Everything about it, the music, the combat, the sprite work, the story, the character development, the character designs, the voice acting, the dialogue, the cutscenes. Man, I love this game, and it's hilarious. This game is hilarious, and that is Lunar, the Silver Star Story complete. Oh man, I'm telling you, if you haven't played this and you're a JRPG fan, you gotta check it out. It is so good. I can't speak highly enough about it. I would say play the PS1 version, probably. It's on Sega CD, I believe. I think the Saturn version's pretty much the PS1 version. I could be wrong, but I think the PS1 version is the best way to play it. It's on PSP, but I think personally the PSP version looks ugly. You can do your own research and make your own opinion, but you know, I loved Lunar, and I loved Lunar so much that, of course, I have Lunar 2. Haven't played this one yet. I was recommended by a friend that I should play Lunar 2, take a break after playing Lunar 1, and then play Lunar 2, because apparently Lunar 2, it feels like you're just playing Lunar 1, but with a different story. It's not a bad thing, but you definitely want to take a break, you know, and come back when you're ready to dive back into it. This one I do not have the big cardboard box for. This one's cardboard box is much more expensive, but one day I'd like to have it. But for now, I have means of playing it, so I'm happy, you know, either way. But that does it for my PS1 collection as of today, or as of this video. As I get more, I'll make video later down the line, but you know, I figured the collection was getting big enough that I could finally talk about what I have. And then after this, I'll be doing PlayStation 2, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 3. So, you know, I'm going to try and, you know, update on what I have. Maybe I'll do Super Nintendo and 64 together. But regardless, that's what me and Ryder are doing. So be on the lookout for both of our separate collection update videos. That being said, appreciate you guys watching. Take it easy.